Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, Craig here with another great business to discuss in this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Scott, and he's selling his Amazon FBA business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Scott. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking, Craig.
Great to hear, and I'm looking forward to talking more about your business. But before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of the business. It's an Amazon FBA business in the outdoors niche, created in September 2019. The average monthly revenue for the business is $35,109, and it makes an average of $6,950 in net profit each month. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 55190 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, let's have a look at what's included in the sale. We have the Amazon Seller Essential account with 11 SKUs, domain and all site content and files, an email list with 25 subscribers, trademark and supplier contracts and relationships. And it's also important to note that inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to active buyers. Okay, Scott, now let's hear from you. Can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yes, absolutely. So I've been running online businesses for approximately 7 years. This is kind of my second business sale. My first business started about 7 years ago and experimented with all sorts of monetization methods and marketing and all different things, and kind of grew that and learned. And ultimately with that business ended up getting into the Amazon FBA space, and really found that Amazon is a great way to build a business. So ran that for a number of years and then exited that about 2 years ago and started this business here. And so kind of, taking the learns from working in the Amazon ecosystem for a number of years to build and scale this business.
Yeah, what did you learn from running your first Amazon business that you applied when launching this business and building it?
Candidly, a lot of things. With Amazon, it is always a continual learning process, but one would just be product selection. Candidly, when I started the first business, I selected a few products that I thought would be really good sellers. And even though they ended up being highly well reviewed, just the volume of some of the initial products I picked was not there. And it was just more because of not as much market demand. So as I scaled that business and looked to start this one, was just focusing on products that would have much higher demand and sales potential. So that's one. And then also ensuring high quality products that will command high reviews. And then just also the product price testing, initially launching a product and kind of finding that optimal price that works best for the customers on Amazon.
Absolutely. Yeah, some great lessons there, and certainly ones that were from many sellers before, so seem to reign true quite throughout for all entrepreneurs. So you have 11 SKUs now. Could you tell us a little about what it was like launching products and what your sort of strategy was there?
Kind of identified a number of products that really are kind of the highest sales volume potential, at least within kind of a niche, and then can expand from there. So I found it very important to get a number of products launched right away to really get the business and brand going. Was kind of finding correlating products that a customer could buy and also would be very likely to buy other products within the particular brand that very well correlated within each other.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So how come was it that you chose this niche in particular?
It's kind of a niche that I have a lot of passion about and personal experience in. So it's something I enjoy. And I do feel that if it's something that someone enjoys or at least has some knowledge on, being able to select products and make customized products to potential buyers within that industry is going to be much easier rather than something you have no knowledge on. So not that someone has to be an absolute expert, but at least you have some general knowledge of that particular industry. I do feel that it's much easier to select products as well as market those products for higher sales potential.
Certainly, yeah, you can leverage your interest and knowledge in the niche, like you say. So in terms of the business model, how it's set up, how does the business primarily make money?
It is 100% Amazon FBA. As mentioned, with my first business, it was kind of experimenting and testing different sales channels and monetization methods, but really ended up narrowing in on Amazon FBA as definitely was the highest return on time investment. And so when building out this business here, definitely focused 100% on Amazon FBA. And so all the revenue and sales comes from there, and definitely some opportunity to expand from there over time. But I feel that, definitely with the initial growing and building phase of the business, it's much easier to just kind of focus on one sales channel and try to optimize that and branch out from there eventually.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So how come is it that you're selling the business right now then?
It's been a great business and really enjoy running it. Just candidly, I do have other projects going on, and my really main interest and what excites me is kind of building things from kind of that 0 to 1, if that makes sense, of getting something off the ground, getting it running. For my personal passion, it's more kind of that building phase. And now that the business is in a stable position, it's a great business. But for me, the excitement comes in building. So it's in a great position for someone else to take over and kind of either maintain or really grow from here. But for my own personal passion, I kind of like the initial building phase.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's like entrepreneurial side of it. That's the fun side. And as a result of when you build these businesses, it allows an opportunity for a buyer to acquire a business that's already established. So is there anything that you've learned from building this business that you will apply to another business?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one is ensuring that the products are high quality and are in demand, so regardless of, I guess, how much demand is that there's there, especially on Amazon, if your product is not of high quality, it's not going to matter, because ultimately the reviews do drive a lot of the ranking and the buyer decisions. So really selecting high quality products and doing something with the products that, is a little bit unique or a different angle of one way or another to kind of stand out against the competition. And streamlining the operations part, like I said, with the previous business, I tested a lot of different models and really found to focus on one was the highest return on the time investment. So kind of what I learned with this one is keeping it candidly pretty simple, keeping it simple with operations and focusing on the one sales channel. And again, it does leave opportunity to expand to others, but for solopreneur, it's pretty great to Amazon FBA to partner with and make that work.
Absolutely, yeah. And it seems that you've implemented that belief with this business, as the brand has over 1,800 positive reviews. So it certainly seems that you've got a high quality product. And about the product and the inventory, can you just tell us a little about where you source products and how orders are fulfilled and all that side of the business?
Yes, absolutely. So I do work with a primary supplier in China that I've worked with for actually over 7 years that supplied product for the other niche that I worked in. So I have a very good relationship with this particular supplier and well trusted. And, the great thing is that for a buyer, I can transfer that relationship off and can know that working with an excellent supplier. And in fact, they also help with the coordinating of the shipments to Amazon FBA. So once I have product complete and ready to be shipped, they actually will just work with their own freight forwarder and get the product shipped by sea directly to Amazon warehouses. So I don't really have to worry about any of the additional legwork of coordinating sea freight or anything like that. They handle it all, and I just kind of pay that all on the invoice for the final shipment and balance of the product. So getting the products to Amazon that way is fairly straightforward and simple. And then as far as, fulfilling the orders, it's 100% Amazon FBA. So, really they're completely hands off once it gets to the Amazon warehouses.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's really clear. And just to circle back to about when you were growing the business, was there anything that you tried with this business that didn't work out for you?
Yeah, I mean, I have tried. There is a website for the business. And I did initially try some social media and, some stuff with the website initially, and just candidly with some of the other projects and things like that I've been as well working on the side, just haven't had as much time to focus on that. So, I don't know if it hasn't necessarily worked, but there's just been some areas of the business that I haven't had as much time to focus on to grow out. And so I do feel like that's an opportunity for a buyer to focus on some of the other things off just Amazon directly to build some more brand awareness and grow the sales that way.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you about the growth opportunities in just a moment, but in terms of marketing for the business, what have you currently do in terms of marketing and what have you tried out in the past?
Primarily it's just been really only on Amazon. So I've used Amazon pay-per-click advertising primarily to launch products. Also, Amazon had an early reviewer program for a while that you could pay and they'd send, I think, for the first handful of reviews, or they'd try to get those initial customers to leave reviews for you. So it was all within Amazon's terms. So use that to get some product awareness initially, but mostly through, Amazon pay-per-click initially, and really focusing on very high content or high quality product listings, optimized keywords and things like that so that the products are all searchable. And so it's been pretty much 100% on Amazon that way.
And looking forward with the business, what do you think are the major opportunities for growth?
I feel like there's a lot of growth opportunities with the business. One would be expanding the product line. So there's tens, if not hundreds of products within this product niche that could be added. So, doubling the product line or something like that would be something that could easily be achievable. And I'd be happy to share the next handful of ideas as far as products with the buyer. A couple other things would be expanding into other marketplaces within Amazon as far as internationally. So I have been selling in Canada for a while with a handful of the products and just getting the rest in stock there now. But I also feel like the European market, as well as Australia and even Mexico, would be all great international markets to expand the existing products on within Amazon, because, candidly, I feel even just simply getting those products in stock in those other marketplaces could add anywhere from 5 to 20% revenue and profit. I think there's a lot of growth opportunity just doing that. If you look at where Amazon is in those marketplaces compared to the United States right now, United States is definitely competitive. If you look at some of the other marketplaces, it kind of feels like where Amazon was maybe 5 to 7 years ago, where there's definitely sellers there, but certainly not the amount of sellers as they are in the United States. And that actually presents some good opportunity to really get a foothold in those other markets and expand and get towards the top of the rankings and get that figured out. And then the other opportunities would be, other marketplaces if the buyer is either has experience or just works to expand in marketplaces such as, Walmart or Shopify or any other sales channels, eBay, anything like that to expand the sales, and as well as growing the business's brand awareness through, social media or website, things like that. So there's a lot of different opportunities.
And about the Canadian marketplace, have you seen any traction on there yet, or is it a bit too early to tell?
Yes, absolutely. Definitely some very good traction there with the handful of products I did have in stock. And like I mentioned, getting more in stock there. And the other interesting thing with some of the international marketplaces is, as I mentioned, a little bit lower competition. I think, it's just not as maybe as easy as some people feel the United States is, but honestly, really not much harder to get into those markets. But I've learned that there's actually maybe some higher profit margins to be had in some of those markets, at least for quite a while until the competition gets tougher. So definitely some traction there already.
Absolutely. So as for the day-to-day work on this business, can you describe the amount and type of work you do on this business for maintenance?
It's really quite minimal to just maintain as is. Really a couple hours a week. If someone wanted to run it with, 3 to 5 hours a week, really you could. And that's, in just my maintain mode right now, that's basically what it is just checking Amazon pay-per-click campaigns typically about once a week and just monitoring those and making any necessary adjustments. And then also just monitoring inventory levels and, checking on those usually about once a week to just make sure that, all products stay in stock, coordinating any either reorders or shipments to ensure that stay in stock. So just the maintain part of it is very minimal. Myself, like probably any other Amazon seller, is maybe a little bit guilty of checking sales many times on a daily basis, but that's not anything that's necessary. But yeah, from actual work perspective on a day-to-day, weekly basis, very minimal. But, really can make it as much as you want. For sure, when launching new products, there's a little bit more time invested. I haven't launched a new product in probably 6 months here, but doing the keyword research and building out a product listing and selecting those products and stuff and coordinating that initially is some additional legwork to get the product off the ground. But then from there, it's pretty much streamlined. So the maintain phase is quite minimal.
Yeah, it must still be exciting to check in on the daily sales and see that you've got sales out. That never goes away. What skills or requirements do you think there are for someone who is not familiar with this niche or business model?
I think mostly it's just one would be someone that's, willing to learn. Candidly, it's not that complex, with the Amazon FBA, especially since the business is already established and get it going. So there's, really just maintaining with reorders and things like that. So the biggest thing would be, someone has a little bit of attention to detail with maybe some forecasting as far as numbers and things like that, as far as ensuring you stay in stock. But the good news is there's a couple years history here, so you can really just kind of look at historical sales and, kind of do your best judgments off that for keeping inventory levels in stock. So just maintaining, really not, as long as someone's willing to learn and has some attention to detail, can be easily, I think, learned by anybody. And, from there would be whatever that person's skills or desires are. Like I said, maintaining wouldn't take much if someone's got a lot of experience or desire to build out, social media or other sales channels or anything like that. I mean, that would be something that could be good, but certainly something necessary if they just want to keep it kind of maintaining at the current level.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the inventory management is very, very important for this type of business model, surely. So what do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
Really the biggest risk is just, Amazon does continue to have, you just need to stay on top of their updates and policies and kind of their processes. Again, having run Amazon FBA businesses for 7 years, the thing that I've found is just, just making sure that you try to stay up to date, like I said, with that, your time once a week or something, just review kind of the Amazon seller forums and the postings they put out there and just be aware of any changes that are coming or, things like that Amazon's looking for, and just ensuring that you run your business, white hat within Amazon's policies. As long as you do that, I feel like it is a fairly safe business model. Where I see people get in trouble is if they try to skirt Amazon's rule or things like that. But I haven't done that. And I think that as long as you follow the rules and play by what they want you to do and learn kind of what their system and their algorithms and stuff look for and follow policy to match that, should be good. But again, it's Amazon's ecosystem and you just got to play within it.
Very true. Okay, so putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer then, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
As discussed, there's a lot of opportunity for growth. So, I mean, one, it's an established business that has a good track record already. So for someone who's just looking to buy and maintain with minimal work, that would be a great thing. But if someone's looking to also expand, just lots of different opportunities with adding to the product line, going into other marketplaces and all the other Amazon international marketplaces, as well as increasing, social media presence or website or, things like that. So could be a great business to just buy and maintain, but also lots of opportunity existing within the business to grow as well.
Okay. Well, regarding the sale of the business, would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes, I would definitely be open to committing to one. Yes.
And how much support are you willing to offer buyers? Are you going for the standard 30 days of email and Skype support?
Yes, for sure. I'm happy to help the buyer out with the standard kind of training process. And having been through a sale before, even what I did is took some of the buyer when they have questions, just even doing like screen records and captures of anything that they were asking. So if they had a question on how to do something on Amazon within the portal, I would just, do a screen record and kind of explain it through and send that to them as a video so that they can actually just reference to that, not only that one time, but many times, down the road if they have questions on the next time they need to do it. So, but yeah, definitely willing to help get someone going with the transition here.
And are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out?
I'm mostly interested in the full cash purchase. Candidly, I'm looking to, use the capital for other ventures that I'm working on, as well as the mental space of just, moving on. But of course, I'm always open to hearing offers, but primarily looking for a full cash buyout.
Anything else you'd like to share that I might have missed?
No, hopefully people found this useful here as far as the information on it, but happy to have conversations with anybody that has questions, but feel like great business for someone to take over and either maintain or lots of opportunity to grow from where it's at.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time, Scott. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you too. I very much appreciate it.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 55190. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.